Hello everybody, my name is Steve Cox. Welcome to my shop. Today's adventure is, I think it's a 2006, 7, or 8 5.9 Hemi Dodge. It's been beautifully, immaculately taken care of. Something about landscape companies. I have not ever worked on a single landscape company that has a truck that was well taken care of. I don't know what it is, but they're always beat to crap. So we have an issue with this one. As soon as you start it, the check engine light comes on, starts flashing. So anytime you have a check engine light on that's flashing, it's flashing because there's a problem with the emission system. The only reason manufacturers even have computers on cars and a check engine light is to let you know that you're having an issue with the emission system. Believe it or not, that's it. They are only concerned about the catalytic converter and the exhaust coming out. The computer and everything else, all the sensors and everything that goes along with that whole kit and caboodle, it's not there for fuel mileage, it's not there for economy, it's not there for power. It is only there to protect the emissions of the vehicle. So if you're having a flashing check engine light, that means you have a cylinder misfire, or the computer thinks that you're having a cylinder misfire, one of the two. In this case, it is having a cylinder misfire. When you have a cylinder misfire, you're going to dump raw fuel into the exhaust, and because the exhaust is already hot, it can ignite in the catalytic converter and melt the catalytic converter. If you guys remember old school cars, used to be a really bad problem, but it would start smelling like rotten eggs, and that was your catalytic converter, having a really good time. So I'm going to get my scan tool out, go ahead and hook it up to the ECM, to the PCM on this truck, figure out what we're looking at. Now I do know in a 5.7 liter Hemis, these engines are absolutely terrible about wiping out camshafts. The guy that I spoke to on the phone that dropped his truck off told me that they just put this engine in and it only has about 18,000 miles on it. Now the problem with that, from what I have seen other mechanics talk about on YouTube, I don't have personal experience with this, maybe you guys do, put your comments down below, is that these engines are really not designed to idle very much. Because of how the camshaft sits and where it gets oil, if it's just sitting out and idle, then the cam lobes really don't get very much oil, not as much as it should. So if you're going to idle these trucks, you really need to only idle like 1,000 RPMs, 1,200, 1,500 RPMs, a high idle, or just don't idle the damn truck. Most of the commercial customers that I have that have any sort of pickup, especially diesels, guys, they show up to location and just leave the engine running. I don't know why. They think it's better for it. They don't want to start it. They want the heater going. They want the air conditioner going. They want to listen to the radio. No clue, but most of the time, especially landscapers, I'm not sure what it's landscapers and construction companies, but they'll just leave it running all day. So let's get hooked up to it and figure out what the codes are. Now the scan tool I'm going to use is an Autel MS908s. I've had this for a couple of years. This is a programming one, so it comes with this little J2534 ECU programming module. And it's wireless, so I'm just going to hook this up to the OBD2 port in the truck. Hopefully it's got power, and then I can remotely come out here and show you guys the operation. Now first off, when I look at the instrument cluster in there, it tells me gas cap, which means there's an evaporative emission system leak, a large leak detected. Not truly concerned about that. They're probably not that much concerned about it either. A loose gas cap on these engines isn't going to cause a misfire like that. If it's a bad enough leak, it will cause a high idle, and we do have a high idle right now. And we're going to hit diagnose. Control unit, powertrain, ECM, read codes, multiple cylinder misfire, evap system leak, lost vehicles, speed message, wheel distance, O2 1, O2 2. So that's oxygen sensor, bank 1, sensor 1, oxygen sensor, bank 2, sensor 2. The 0300, so we're looking at a multiple cylinder misfire. The 0300 means it's random on each cylinder, or it's not a bad enough misfire to where it's calculated the exact cylinder that's doing it. I'm going to do a little more investigation, see what I figure out, and then check a couple of things. Now the evaporative emission system code and the lean codes tells me that and the high idle tells me that there's a vacuum leak somewhere. So I'm going to probably pop off that air cleaner, take a look around and see if there's anything glaringly obvious. So actually I misread that. That's a O2 sensor, O2 heater circuit high, bank 1, sensor 1, O2. So it's not showing a lean code. I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up, look at some data and see if we're running lean. Well, it's gonna be a short video. I had that O2 sensor heater circuit code. I did two things. One, I checked fuel pressure, and of course I had to take my entire fuel pressure tester gauge apart because the little connection wasn't working. I guess I bent it or did something to it, so I had to fix that. But anyway, check fuel pressure. Fuel pressure was fine. If it's a random cylinder misfire, that's usually the very first things I do. Check battery voltage, check fuel pressure, just to see what the baseline is. Make sure we don't have two problems or more problems or anything, and it's really simple. To crawl around underneath the vehicle, and lo and behold, the bank 2 sensor tube, that's the one that goes into the catalytic converter. This is what I found. So that's lovely. Amazing, huh? Also found that the connector side, the male, because this is the female side, also found that the male side on 3 of the connectors, the wiring's been damaged. They replaced the engine in this at one time, and somebody's probably put a transmission in it because it's a Dodge, and you know, that's just like an oil change. Like every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, you need a new transmission, apparently. So somebody's damaged this stuff going in. Well, amazingly, an O2 sensor is about $27, I think, to replace, $28. But the harness connector is $46 each. So I got to order those. Of course, nobody in town has them in stock. Those will be in here on Wednesday, and get those connected, and I'll show you guys how I do those connectors, especially on the oxygen sensor. Then I'll show you guys how do I repair the harness. Now, it's going to be a pain in the butt because, one, my freaking lift is commandeered right now, so I'm going to have to crawl around on my back. I've only got one lift. And the harness is on the vehicle, so you have to kind of stick your hands up in there and do it. But, you know, if it was easy, other people would be doing it. The thing I am concerned about, though, and I've ran into this in the past, anytime you have damaged wires like this, to where the wires are all frayed and they're all touched together, you're sending your heater circuit side voltage and ground through your signal side of your O2 sensor. And the signal side of the O2 sensor is only meant for millivolts, you know, 100, 800 millivolts, or 0.1 to 0.8 volts. So when you send 12 volts down your heater side and it goes over to the reference side, your computer usually doesn't like that. So a lot of the times, if you're not careful and it's a sporadic fault or a sporadic short to ground, you'll fry that side of the board on the PCM, and then you'll put brand new O2 sensors in it, you'll put brand new harness connectors on it, and lo and behold, you'll still end up having a oxygen sensor heater circuit malfunction or whatever, have a check engine light. I already made the customer aware of that and told them, hey, you know, this is what I need to do right now. I could fix this and see if the PCM is actually fried or not. There's a very likelihood that it is fried, and we'll have to buy one of those and put one of those on and get her on, but that's the name of the game. I'm gonna order the parts. Parts will be here on Wednesday, so that makes the video pretty short. If you guys got any tips, tricks, or have ran into this before, especially on these stupid Dodges, I don't know if Dodge could not make a freaking wiring harness to save their life, apparently. Every Dodge I've ever been a part of, or seen, or been around, or whatever, the harnesses are always crap. I don't know what it is. Dodges and electrical problems, and transmission problems. But hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, put your own stories down below about oxygen sensors and repairs like that. Let me know if you guys have had shorted oxygen sensors, fry ECMs, because I've had it happen on a Dodge, I've had it happen on a Ford, and I don't think I've had it happen on a Chevy yet, but let me know if you guys have ran into that same problem. Thank you for watching, and get out and fix it.